Bitcoin's price has moved up almost 4% in the last few hours. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the technical analysis on BTC, where I'll be sharing my short and medium time expectations on the price action. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and let's take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin. So here we have Bitcoin paired up with USDT. We are on the 1 hour Binance chart here, and you can see that we were thinking about the long in here. In the previous video, we're talking about coming down and testing out that 200 EMA. As you can kind of see here, we would have hit this one and taking out profit, but we significantly saw a breakout here in the last couple of hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to analyze where we think these things are going, right? So obviously the long position played out nicely. We'll go ahead and delete that. Let me know in the comments down below or in our free Discord server whether you took part in any kind of long positions on Bitcoin, but here we can see a really nice run to the upside. A lot of people are wondering with the double top with this previous kind of B wave up here, whether or not this is basically now a bearish move and we look for if they're the breaks to the downside, or whether or not we are going to be looking for a significant run upwards. Well, there's a few things we need to kind of consider here. So the first thing is we have a nice run coming up into this area here. Okay, I look at this through the idea of a 5-wave move. We then have the correction coming down here, which in my opinion is an irregular flat. So we have the 1, 2, 3 structure here, like so. Okay, so we have an A wave coming up, we have a B wave coming down, and then we have a C wave going up. Now, minimum expectations have already been met with a double top up here at 63,417. That's our minimum expectation. We obviously rallied past there, but of course, I still think this is going to be going up higher. The optimism or the optimistic bunch will be looking at this through the idea that maybe we have a bigger break to the upside, targeting out $66,000 to $68,000. That would be right up here. So basically 66,786 to 67,948 approximately. Just put that right in there. That's going to be your optimistic kind of situation that people are going to be looking for. I don't think we're going to do that myself. I think we are in the middle of the finishing structure. Okay, so basically what we can see here is we have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, we're in the wave 4, we move up into the wave 5. Right now, when we take a look at this on a slightly smaller time frame, of a 15-minute time frame, here you can see some interesting kind of structures. I look at this, it does to me look like there's the potential of a 3-wave structure, but I'm going to look at this through the idea that actually we overextended. If we take this down to a 5-minute time frame, we can see here that there's this really interesting kind of structure coming up. I look at this as a wave 1, a wave 2, wave 3, 4, not crossing wave 1, and overextension into that final 5th wave movement. And in that move in itself actually moves right up into typically what you would expect because of the depth of the wave 4. And this is a key thing actually when we talk about Elliott wave theory, the alternating structures where wave 2 acts more like a wave 4 and the wave 4 acts more like a wave 2. That being said, here we can see that we'd have the idea of a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going in here, and then we get into this bigger run to the upside. Here we can see a 1, 2, all of this being 3. We're looking at this pretty big breakdown on this 5-minute chart at the moment. It has kind of gone down more, I think, than you would typically expect. So we might start seeing a WXYXZ structure to the downside. But let's roll this back up into our hourly chart so we can talk about what that looks like. You can see we had the 5-wave structure in the wave 1. We come down to the wave 2. We're up in the wave 3. We're looking for the wave 4 to finish, and then we have that next move to the upside. So typically we would be looking for a 38.2% retracement here. That would put us more towards kind of that range of $63,500 before we move up. So if we're going to run on the premise that we do that, and if we do, then our next run to the upside is going to be targeting out here 64,725 to 65,92 approximately. I'll go ahead and remove these off the chart so you can see that yellow box a little bit more clearly. Now, why am I talking about all of this? It's really important. Minimum expectations have been met. Okay, we can agree that. And this is basically not, in my opinion, going to rally up into those next bigger moves to the upside. I think are going to fall short of it. Okay, so typically we would be looking for this A, B, C structure to come up here, but I think the C wave structure is going to fall short here. Now, I could be wrong, and maybe inside here we do have a double zigzag pattern going on instead, right? And if that is the case, and we do see that kind of scenario playing out, then you've actually got a WX, and then we will hit those higher waves to the upside. So keep key things that we're going to be looking for is we're going to look for the fifth wave to finish, and then we're going to see how the price action reacts. It is either going to break on down lower than the previous wave one low, which would be right down here in this low range around $62,000. If it does that, then of course we're done with this move to the upside. If, however, the price action finds support, let's say hypothetically around 63,400, then I think we could be in the making here for another 5-wave move to the upside to actually create that kind of double zigzag pattern. Okay, so what you end up with is your ABC structure here, and you end up with an ABC structure here. Okay, and all of that gets wrapped inside a WXY structure. It's a little bit complicated, I know. It's Elliott wave theory stuff. It is a lot of stuff to remember. That's why I put together the course. I am running a 50% off discount on that course. If anyone is interested, check it out. It is in the description down below with the coupon code. It's quite an extensive course. I go through all of the inner workings of all the different structures, all the different rules that you have to remember, all the kind of usual stuff you'd expect. But it is worth understanding, in my opinion, if you're serious about tracking people's behavior in the price action rather than relying on indicators. And because in my opinion, price action analysis is significantly better and outperforms that of indicator-based analysis. So it's important to kind of get an understanding of it. That's just why I put together the course. You can also check out the Smart Money Concept one if you're interested in understanding how Smart Money Concepts works as well. There's also risk management, portfolio building, all that kind of stuff, all 50% off using the link in the description with the coupon code. So for Bitcoin, our next move, in my opinion, is 64,700 to 65,100 approximately, right? And so that's going to be the next move for BTC. I would be looking for a potential long there, but we can see here that our momentum is a little bit all over the place, so it's not giving us the best ideas as to what's going on from the stochastic RSI. If we bring in the divergence indicator, you can see we touched up on the overbought, we pulled back a bit, we can still rally. So this is actually looking quite positive. We're in bullish momentum territory. On the 1 hour time frame, volumes obviously spiked up quite nicely just for this move to the upside. It'll be interesting to see whether any of that is substantial. We have had an increase in selling pressure as we hit into that area of the higher range, which is to be expected. And now the challenge is going to be, can we see an increase in buying volume on BTC or not? Okay, so a lot to kind of play for when it comes to Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. Let's roll this up into a daily because the daily time frame is also a very interesting kind of play. So in here we can see that we were looking for this move a little bit lower, and this most recent rally that we've had breaks that structure. It means that our C wave met minimum expectation and came down lower than the 200 daily EMA. We were calling for 56,644 to 58,032. That is no longer valid with this most recent move to the upside. Okay, so everything going on here looks likely to see another push up where we might even breach this previous high. Now I want to point out that although this structure here is also a very interesting one, this Y wave structure is not like, it could still be in play, of course, with a larger kind of 3-wave pattern to the upside, is not likely to breach this move of 70,000 to 79 swing high. So from a daily time frame point of view, we are still in lower high territory until we can breach one of these major swing highs, and that one really is going to be 70,000, 79.99. We need to breach that one for us to set a higher high on the daily time frame. If we can't do that, I think the bears are going to take control of the situation once again. Okay, so we want to be aware of that. In the structure that we see at the moment, it's possible that we're still inside the C wave, so we still have this possible move to the upside. It would actually be marked more as a WXY structure rather than an ABC structure that it is seen here. But of course, everything above 66,498 is going to be the interesting point for us. Our momentum on the daily time frame is approaching the overbought area. So sustainability of these levels, it isn't necessarily the best. Historically, the last times that we've kind of been up in these overbought ranges were August. We saw a few days up there before we got towards the end of August, and then we broke down. Before that was September 12th. We did come up into this overbought area. We bounced around a little bit, and then we broke down towards the end of September. So all we're doing now is moving back up. And if we don't have higher high situations appear here on the daily time frame, I do think the Bitcoin bears are going to take control, and we're going to start to see a bit of a move to the downside. From our weekly close position, It was a very undecided market last week, as you can kind of see right here. Okay, big wicks on both sides, on the bearish and the bullish side. On the weekly time frame, we can see here lower highs and lower lows on the weekly time frames, not just on the micro view, but also on the macro view here. As I kind of draw this in, you can kind of see we are in the lower high territory and the lower low territory. If we do see this move up into this slightly higher range, around $66,000 to $68,000, all it's going to do is be another lower high here on the weekly time frame. Although support is being found on the 50 EMA, 50 SMA, I expect that we are likely to see another major pull to the downside, where I am going to be looking for hopefully finding support in and around the 50 EMA, which currently sits at around $56,000. So I am looking for us to move back. I don't think we're going to be in the breakout just yet. We're a bit too soon. I think we'll see more positivity around November, but I think it'll be short-lived. So it'll be interesting to see if the next few weeks we can remain in these higher ranges. But ultimately, another 15% move to the downside, I think, should be something that we need to be kind of considering unless we have a breakout situation. I think the breakouts will happen in January, so I expect a little bit of positivity around the election day over in the US, and then a bit more of a cooling off in December ahead of January inauguration day and basically the 2025 bull market. So we're getting there. Progress is being made. The price is being kind of consolidating around here for a while. On the weekly time frame, guys, this is a big bull flag. I want to kind of point that out. Lower highs and lower lows here on the daily time frame. Big breakout situation likely to occur here, and we are targeting out over $100,000 for BTC in the bigger picture. So although there's some bearish stuff going on, there's some bullish stuff happening as well on the smallest time frames, but ultimately everything on the bigger macro piece is very, very positive for BTC, at least in my humble opinion. Let me know what yours are in the comments down below, or join us in our free Discord server. I'd like to get your thoughts and opinions on where you think BTC is heading. And if you have found this video helpful and informative, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and don't forget to check out this video right here. It's not one you're going to want to miss.